Welcome to Fantasy League Fights on Severe Brodowns with
Zach
and Caden.
And Max.
and Cameron.
Today we are doing another awesome video, so thank you so much for joining us, guys. Make sure you guys, go subscribe. Make sure you guys do whatever. These idiots every time, I'm telling you, they need to be nerfed immediately like Bastion. Anyway,
It's nerfed for nothing.
Pretty much I think today's video is going to be very interesting. We have a good fight lined up. It's going to be Scarlet Witch, that's my character, versus Doctor Strange, the epic magic battle. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. This has happened in the comic books on a few occasions, but it always kind of gets interrupted. So hopefully this is a good one. So today we have Caden as our fact checker and timer, and we have none other than Max right here being our judge, and Max will therefore pick the location.
I'm gonna go with Avengers Tower.
So we're gonna be fighting in Avengers Tower. Okay.
They both know that pretty well.
Very cool. Okay, Avengers Tower. Interesting. Okay. Well, Caden, whenever you want to begin.
I'm gonna let you start this one.
Okay.
So that way.
So, we begin. 3, 2, 1.
So I'd just like to bring up one thing about Doctor Strange, and the thing he has to do, he has this thing called incantations, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and which means he can only say, to do spells, he has to say them, or he has to do some type of hand gesture. So if you stop him from doing these hand gestures, or you stop him from saying them, he is restricted. Also, if he doesn't know certain spells, he won't be able to do those things. So I think, Doctor Strange is going to be very limited on what he can do. While literally Scarlet Witch is genetically, she has the genetic magic trait from the X gene. So she can, she's also had the training too. She's had the training from, what was her name? I forget her exact name. Fact checking on that actually. So she was trained by a witch lady, and then she does super well, and then she's also genetic. So she has both of the things of magic that you don't have.
Okay, but in the MCU, she's only been able to use her hands, and she's only been able to attack one target, while, Doctor Strange has a cloak of levitation, so it's basically two types of entities, and so, even if she holds down Doctor Strange, the cloak of levitation can easily take her out.
So the thing about the cloak of levitation, though, we obviously, I'm assuming you're using the MCU version. I'm not using the MC version of Scarlet Witch, because I think the MCU version of Scarlet Witch is not close to the comic books at all, because she's very science-based. I'm using she has these hexes. She has so many powers in the comic books, and I'll get to that later. But for the time being, I'm going to explain right now. We saw the cloak of levitation get ripped in Infinity War, I believe, right? Was that when it got ripped?
No, it got ripped off, but it's still fine.
Yeah, I know, but it can become injured as well, correct?
Yes.
And so can Doctor Strange. And the thing with Doctor Strange, he's a regular human being, and also when he was learning magic in the comic books, at the time when he was learning them, he actually threw up for, I think, 3 days straight because of just magic and how much of a toll it takes on the human body. Whereas, Scarlet Witch, it's not going to take a toll against her human body because she's not human, she's a mutant.
Okay, but, one thing about his portals, he can frickin' put a portal right in, you saw this in Infinity War, where he chopped off that hand with Wong chopped off his hand with the portal. He can easily just chop her in half with the portal.
Okay, so that's a decent point, but how is he going to have time to be able to do that? By the time he recognizes that, she'll already be close enough to him. And Doctor Strange, we know he's not the best at hand-to-hand combat. He can use magic. I'll give you this. He can use magic pretty well. He's literally the Sorcerer Supreme. However, fighting-wise, combat-wise, he's nowhere near as good as Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was able to take on Cable hand-to-hand without magic at all, and she was able to knock him down. She also was able to use, got training from Captain America and Hawkeye, who are two of the best physical hand-to-hand combat trainers and best people at hand-to-hand combat in the Marvel Comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, both. So I think, if it comes down to close, combat, she's easily going to win. And now that, we're starting to get into this a little bit more intensely, we're getting this a little more intense. We're going to talk about the point where Scarlet Witch in the Avengers vs. X-Men comic book. Okay, well anyway, the Avengers vs. X-Men comic book, when she was fighting the Avengers vs. X-Men comic book, she was able to defeat Phoenix. When she had a mental breakdown. She defeated Phoenix. She also defeated Hawkeye, and she killed Vision, all just because of her anger. And so if you look at just how powerful she can be, if she's on the verge of death, if she's going a little bit wacky, because Scarlet Witch obviously isn't necessarily all there sometimes.
Okay, so basically, yeah, she's always, in the MCU, which I know you're not using, but we obviously see her as she goes insane, when she takes Crossbones and throws him up into the sky. guy and hurts all those people, she goes quite insane. So why would she want to hurt Doctor Strange?
Because she knows it's a life or death situation. She literally killed Ultron, it was gruesome. And the comic books too, Ultron, he is deadly afraid of Scarlet Witch because her magic is one of the only things that can penetrate and rip apart the vibranium. So I think saying that, because so many people are just scared of Scarlet Witch. She's one of the strongest people ever. And I've even mentioned, we are in Stark Tower. We're in someone that, or the Avengers Tower is, that she knows relatively well, and if she's able, and if she didn't know it, she can use her hexes to be able to set things on fire, to be able to use them to throw at you, to be able to just, the hexes. Originally, her powers with her magic were very undefined, and so she was very intense, and she can do a lot of things with just her hex power.
Doctor Strange lives in New York, right?
Yes.
Around that, so he would obviously know.
Sanctorum. He lives in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, but it's in New York.
Yes.
So basically, he would know a lot about Avengers Tower, since it's around that area. And also another thing, I'm going to bring up the portals again. He's easily able to trap her, what he did with Loki and Thor Ragnarok. He was making him fall for 30 minutes, so he could easily just get her away from the battle, or he could even with hand-to-hand combat. He has the magic whips or whatever, and he can make whatever he wants with his magic.
But he can't make anything he wants. So that's the thing. That's the problem with Doctor Strange. He doesn't know, just because he knows a lot of spells doesn't mean he knows all the spells. He doesn't know how to do everything. However, Scarlet Witch, genetically, she knows how to do these things because she was born with it. She was also taught these as things as well. So the amount of training she has had is, amazing. And I just want to mention to you guys, neither of us are using some of the most OP things in the characters. I'm not actually going to be using reality warping.
And I'm not going to be using the time stone.
So that I wanted to mention that so you guys are in the comments. You didn't use that thing. But anyway, one more thing I'd like to mention real quick. I know in the movie, obviously you used, Doctor Strange, you're using the MCU version. Obviously he used the time stone to defeat this person. But he defeated Dormammu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch also fought Dormammu, okay? So I think one of the villains that you have fought, one of the ones that I assumed you were going to use, Scarlet Witch has done the exact same thing. Scarlet Witch, I think, and also look how cocky and arrogant Doctor Strange is. There's no way.
Yeah, but Scarlet Witch, she's very scared of a lot of things, and so why?
So she'll use that fear, though. She'll use that fear to destroy. She destroyed the Avengers Mansion, and she killed everyone in that adventure. Not everyone. She killed a lot of people.
How would you use fear to your advantage?
What? Because she's so scared. She creates this kind of this fear, and she's scared of death too. She's scared that she's gonna die too. So she goes on a full rage lunatic monster.
So with Thanos, Scarlet Witch was barely able to hold him back, while Doctor Strange put up a really, really good fight with him, and he was able to.
Scarlet Witch was able to hold him back for quite a bit of time. She was trying to destroy Vision and using all of her power and her emotional power to do that, while at the same time she was doing this. She was doing two things at once, which were objectives. She doesn't have an objective. The only objective is kill him.
Ran out of time there, buddy.
I went blank there for a second. Do we want to do final statements or fact checks?
Probably final statements first.
Final
statements
facts. You may go first. Okay. So I talked a lot during that one. I'm sorry, guys, but I just like to point out that I think Scarlet Witch, she has the hex power, which I didn't get to talk about a lot, but she has the hex power. She's genetically mutated. She has training far beyond, I think, what Doctor Strange has, other than his magic abilities, which he learned and are physically, they take a physical toll on Doctor Strange. Not to mention his arrogance and how cocky he is. I don't think, he would look at this and he'd go, oh, this is going to be an easy fight. And in reality, she looks like a young person, because she is, but she also has immense amounts of training, and the feats that she's done, such as defeating Cable, and I guess it was with magic, but he still has an arsenal, and then also being able to defeat in the Avengers vs. X-Men comics so many people. All those different things, I think, outweigh what Doctor Strange can do, especially when he doesn't have the time stone.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up the portals a third time. Using the portals, he can move her anywhere he wants. So if he wants to make an infinite loop where she's falling for 30 minutes, which he has done before, he can do that. And not to mention, he can slice her in half with one of those portals, which will easily kill her. And his hand-to-hand combat might not be as well as Scarlet Witch's, but he still has some capability of using that. And I just went blank. Wow.
job.
Alright, let's do some fact checks.
Fact checks. Scarlet Witch had to use magic against Cable in their fight. Even then, I couldn't find much evidence of her really beating him down in the fight, but it did happen, and she put up a pretty good fight.
Wait, can we say who she was raised by?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, go ahead.
So, the witch lady was a cow.
Raised by a cow.
She was raised by a
Took in by cow parents. So I could not find anything on who she was taught by.
Her name's like Air or something, so it's like an H. I forget her exact name. Just look it up on the fandom. It's there.
I still want to know the cow thing.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the
Alright.
whole cow thing.
I
And,
swear if I
was there? I mean, like,
There was another thing to be mentioned that is all the way down here. Don't look the rest of this. There's a clear image here. She has destroyed the Avengers before, and one of the ones dead in the image is clearly Doctor Strange. But since that was not brought up by Zach,
Yeah, well, I didn't want
that will
to
not be taken into account.
Okay.
I don't know, man. You talked so much that, like, we
You
didn't
can-
get many
You can
arguments in.
definitely consult me if you
Really? So, I don't know.
No, to make sure you talk to the camera.
yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, like, Zach did so much arguing that, like, Cameron just got, like, a few bits and pieces in. And the few bits and pieces were, like, actually good. I mean, in the Doctor Strange movie, yeah, he trained with that one guy, I forgot his name, he
The
became...
ancient one.
Sure. He did train with him. He had that whip. It was, and Doctor Strange held his own for a while against a master of martial arts and magic.
Oh, and more
Thanos.
dudes.
And more dudes.
The one guy who wants to take away powers
Oh,
from
yeah. Okay, well, that's the guy I was talking about. Anyways, and then, like, Zach brought up a huge argument about genetics, and then, I mean, yeah, the Avengers is a high goal. Dormammu, you never stated that he defeated Dormammu, you just said that he fought against him. You
Well,
just-
because the time stone. We were using the time stone.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mention that he defeated.
Okay, what do you think?
I think that me looking up, I didn't hear everything, but I definitely, in all of Zach's arguments, didn't hear much about defense against portals. Like, that was Cameron's main argument, and I didn't hear much defense against those portals.
This is a hard one.
So,
I never heard defense against any of my points either.
to be fair though, your hand-to-hand combat skills, we found no evidence of it really being that strong.
Yeah, we couldn't find anything about Black Panther or Captain America training.
Hawkeye. Captain America.
But Hawkeye sucks. No.
That's true.
No, you can't use that.
There
That's
we
dumb.
go. No.
Okay,
I
but
don't
that's just my input.
I don't know. With
Your choice,
so
man.
much, with so much arguing that Zach did, I don't want Cameron to take a second loss.
No feeling into
No
it.
feeling.
No bias.
Okay,
Just kidding.
guys, this is it, Chief. It's time.
No.
Even I kind of feel nervous. Now I'm not even in this fight.
I'm really nervous.
Just give it to him.
With my
already.
final statement, with this going down right now,
Just say it.
I'm gonna give
Say the
Zach
truth.
the, of all things, the win. Scarlet Witch went through.
I'm so sorry, man.
Oh my gosh. I didn't have a defense against the portal thing. That's why I skimmed over it, because that was such a good argument. I didn't have a reason. So I was trying to talk so much because I knew that was such a good
No, no,
Cameron's
alright.
quitting.
It's been a pleasure meeting.
Guys, you know, support whatever team you want, but there's one team that is down to only half of their team now.
Freaking Thanos.
Wait, who do you have left now?
I have Ant-Man, Reverse Flash, and Ultron.
Oh, your team's what? I don't even know why you're like. You
What?
have like such a
I
strong
lost
team.
the Thinker. The Thinker was like my best guy, except the Reverse Flash.
Wait,
The Reverse
she's
Flash
not-
is obviously.
This out, right?
What's the Thinker?
Okay, look.
But thanks, guys, for
we're gonna
watching
cut this
that.
off. Thanks for watching this Fantasy League fight. Be sure to support whatever team you want. Red team, blue team, green team, yellow team.
Anyway, so yeah, thanks guys for watching. Make sure you guys.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to stick around for these Fantasy League fights. We'll see you next time, nerd folk.
Goodbye.